Hello, and welcome to this brief presentation on the Foxborough Public Schools District Curriculum Accommodation Plan, otherwise known as the DCAP. This document has undergone a recent revision, and the purpose of this presentation, which takes about 10 minutes to watch and is loaded with videos and information, will help you understand the document, the contents of the document, and the purpose of it. Thanks for watching.
From time to time, all kids struggle to meet academic or social demands. Remember, when making popcorn, not every kernel pops at the same time, and that's okay. Struggling is a part of learning, and we want our students to know that mistakes are where learning begins. Foxborough Public Schools prides itself on high expectations, perseverance, and embracing a growth mindset. However, if a child has persistent and continual difficulties that impact their growth, they may need extra accommodations to support them. Not to worry, we have a plan.
Because students have different needs and abilities, we adjust the levels of challenge and sometimes entire activities to meet the needs of your learner. Your student may tell you that he or she is doing something different from other students. Your student may tell you that his work was easier or harder than those of others. We promise that your child's work will be respectful and appropriate. We promise that your child will have the opportunity to learn every day, and we promise that grading will be fair and aligned with grade level expectations. If your child requires adjustment frequently, you will see more information about us for that.
Sometimes students struggle academically. For example, a student who struggles with writing may need a graphic organizer or a word bank. A child struggling with math may just need a test read to him or some extra time for their assignment. These accommodations are just a few that are provided by the DCAP.
We may also notice a child who struggles with behavior, such as staying on task or calling out. Accommodations we may implement are frequent check-ins, or we may provide movement breaks throughout the day.
Another area that a student might find difficult is organization. Some accommodations teachers might put in place are daily schedules or checklists.
Sometimes students in my classes struggle with concepts. The science concepts, particularly chemistry, can be really difficult. When that happens, I can try some DCAP accommodations, such as using several different models to show the concept. And I can provide multiple ways of teaching it, not just reading, but also showing videos and having students do hands-on activities. If I notice that a student is struggling with behavior, such as maintaining focus in class, I refer to the DCAP. I might try to have the student stand at a lab bench rather than sit, move the student's seat closer to me, provide breaks during class, or check in with them more frequently and provide positive feedback when the student is staying on task. Organization can be so difficult for many middle school students. I can support them by providing checklists, models, and rubrics, online copies of assignments and readings, or teaching study skills strategies and ways to remember the content. There are always some students who need more of a challenge. According to the DCAP, I can provide them with accelerated content opportunities, which in my class looks like research projects, where the students go more in depth and then they actually get to teach other students what they've learned.
High school, when a teacher notices that a student has persistent struggles in either academic, social, or behavioral ways, teachers can utilize a variety of strategies that are found in the District Curriculum Accommodation Plan, also known as the DCAP.
Consider this document a teacher's bag of tricks. Some of these accommodations could include, but are not limited to, providing study skills strategies, prioritize seating, or providing a daily agenda. For a complete list of all these accommodations, please refer to the DCAP document.
As we look into the DCAP document, the first thing that we see is this flow chart. The flow chart provides an overview of the tiers of support that we have available for students in Foxborough when a need is presented. That is to say, students wouldn't receive accommodations from our district curriculum accommodation plan unless there was a need that was presented. Perhaps there was a roadblock to learning, or perhaps a student was really far exceeding the expectations to where a teacher would say, okay, this student needs additional challenge. This document just shows an overview of the tiers and levels of accommodations and support that we go through, where that process begins, and where it could ultimately end. As we look into the document, you can see on this first one, which represents elementary school accommodations, it's broken into 5 sections. These represent accommodations that students may need if they're showing that they're having difficulty in these areas. So the first one are opportunities for accommodations and support in the area of assessments. The next one is instruction, organization, behavior and or social emotional needs, and then resources that are available to teachers inside of the school if they need assistance beyond what we have listed here. It's important to note that the blue items under behavior and social emotional needs are actually hyperlinks that can be found in the document on our website that will give you more information about what those strategies are. And also important to note that anything with an asterisk is related to our responsive classroom program that was partially implemented in the 2019-2020 school year and will continue to be implemented in the 2020-21 school year at the elementary level. As we peek into the middle school document, you will see that the same 5 categories exist, although the accommodations may be slightly different. It's normal for these accommodations to change as students progress through the years, and you'll notice on the next page, on the high school accommodations, there are actually fewer. Our goal is to build independence for students as they move up through the grade levels and hopefully build their own capacity to give themselves strategies that they need in these areas as they progress. Looking at the high school document, as I mentioned, you will see that they maintain the same 5 categories, although there are fewer overall accommodations. That being said, this document is intended to follow students as they move through the grades. So for example, if a middle school teacher found that a specific accommodation worked exceptionally well for a student, they would pass that information along to the high school teacher so that the high school teacher would know. An example might be if a student seems to do better when they're sitting in the front row on the right side of the classroom, we would want to maintain that for that student if we found it to have a certain benefit. Or if they benefited from having, say, a graphic organizer or a study guide, something like that. That is information that we would want to pass from year to year so that we can expedite the process of getting students the supports that they need within the classroom in order to be successful. As I mentioned earlier, our complete DCAP document will soon be available on our website. This slide just shows where you find it. So under the menu option across the top, click on Students and Families. When the drop-down menu comes down, look under Supporting Your Student, and soon you will see our DCAP document there. Thank you very much for taking the time to view this presentation on our updated district accommodation plan. We are very proud of the changes and improvements that we've made to this document and hope that you will find it to be very useful. As always, if you have questions, please feel free to contact your child's teacher or guidance counselor.